Come on in.
Hi, guys. My name's Ryan Fox. It's nice to finally meet with you. Nick, Ryan, Mike, Brad. Nice to meet you guys. Well, since it's the first time, finally getting to meet you guys in person, I guess I'd just like to take this time to get to know you guys a little bit better.
Yeah.
You guys all work from around here for good, or
Yeah.
I said you start somewhere else?
No, I've started out here and did a little bit of traveling with the company, but been back around this area for about
Yeah.
6-7 years. So
Yeah.
I'm in the Lincoln area, but I've been out here 19 years now, so.
Yeah. I'm in the Omaha office now is where I'm located, but
I'm from here, just graduated.
yeah.
Started.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I guess it's finally good to meet you guys, and I'm glad you guys finally took the time to give me the opportunity to
absolutely.
show you guys some of the different
Well, here we go.
solutions that we have for you. So just to get started, so you guys are wanting to expand a new parking lot, the parking lot at the new conference center at the hotel out there.
Yep.
Okay. And so then behind the parking lot, you have accumulation ponds, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so then the problem with that, I guess, basically, from my understanding, if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me, is that, you can't just fill up those ponds with dirt, or else the rain, whenever it rains, it's just gonna cause flooding in those parking lots, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you kind of hit that on the head what we're looking for. We get that's really about the only way we can expand our parking lot, gain some more parking for the conference center hotel. And unfortunately, water is always our nemesis in construction, so we got to figure out how to best manage it. So
Mhm.
yes, we want to see what you had here for us today, and maybe how we can address that.
And I think I've got a pretty good solution for you, and I'm hoping that my solution is gonna give you like the value for you guys to be able to work more efficiently, and also maximizing the parking for your customer, because if your customer is gonna be happy, then you guys are gonna be happy, and that makes us
That's the only way I make money.
So, yeah, all right. Well, so getting started here, I have this Storm Tech MC 7200. So the 7200 is basically just the size of the chambers here. And so we have smaller sizes. So once we, finally get the parameters of your job site, we'll be able to, decide what size goes best for that place. So basically this is the chamber, and then we have the end cap for it. So this is what a typical, after we get that pond drained, is what that typical job site's gonna look like for you. So you start out with the fabric that comes around all the edges, and then underneath that is the aggregate. And then what I don't have pictured here is, just because you wouldn't be able to see the chambers, is that aggregate actually gets poured out on top of the chambers then after that, instead of just filling it in with dirt. And so then you spread them evenly in between each one, and then you put the dirt on, and then of course on top of that is the parking lot. So basically what's really nice about these chambers is that they're longer chambers than what even our own typical drainage facilities or drainage chambers are, but it's also longer than our competitors. So the longer the chambers are, basically the less connections that there are going to be in the entire length of the chamber. So the less connections, the faster it is going to be able to install. And so with these longer chambers, we're expecting that we can get up to 40% faster installment for that.
How much my parking lot's just going to take out?
So this is just all underground here.
Yeah.
Basically, so this is just a picture of one of the job sites that we did. But this doesn't have to take, or I guess, depending on the size that you need, we can use less of these, more of these, smaller ones to fit more in length. It just depends on the actual end of the job site, depending on how many we will have.
So how far down are we get for this?
So basically, these are about, you can see they're about 6 feet tall. I believe the final, I'm not sure on the exact metric of how tall they are, but above, we have to fill in 12 inches, which is 1 foot, of aggregate above the top of that, and then your dirt. And
How much dirt we got to go on top of that aggregate?
There's not necessarily a total amount, and I guess I could get back to you to make for sure if there is an amount of dirt that we need to go on top of
So
that as
what
well.
kind of equipment are we going to be running on there, Dave?
It had to be something heavy. I mean, it's quite a bit, especially as big as the pond is.
I mean, yeah, we start running scrapers and dozers and concrete trucks and stuff on there. I want to make sure that, I guess depending on what that is, how much aggregate and soil we have to place on that, I want to make sure, it's gonna hold up to that construction wear and tear before we even get a parking lot on.
Yeah, so the way that when you put the aggregate on, you can't use like skid loaders or anything to spread the aggregate. You have to drop it from above, but once the aggregate is on, you can spread all your dirt with heavy equipment on top of that there.
How much cost is that at? I don't know if we have to bring a crane or a telebell or something in to place all that.
Yeah, that is correct. It will add some cost on top of that, but
It's gonna be a pretty big hole in the ground.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any issues, any concerns, I guess, we got some kind of a high water table down here by the river. I mean, any concerns? Would, I guess, be able to put that in there and have sufficient space for the parking lot above, or are we gonna have to go like 2 stories here?
Well, I mean, I would say it's probably gonna be, there should be enough room for parking once you can cover the top, but. I will say this is that I'm kind of newer with this, the storm tech here, but what I would like to do is after we get through this, maybe sometime early next week, I'd like to bring in, kind of our experts on all of how this works, which I can get into a little bit. How it works and the exact specifications on that with my engineers, maybe meet with you guys next week to, just so that way we can learn about all the specifics of it, if that makes sense.
I ask you, if you want to jump in on how it works, we can.
Yeah. I guess before I just move on to how it works, I was just gonna show you that what's nice about this is just showing you how well they stack up. So for you guys, I mean, for us, it's nice because we don't have to spend as much on, trucking to get them in there. But for you guys, when it takes up less space, so it's not gonna take up a bunch of room on your job site. But yeah, I'll jump in here now just to kind of show you a little bit how it works. So basically, this is gonna be, your parking lot will be on top, obviously. So this is a drain. I know it's a smaller scale. But so to start, that water is gonna drain in here and it's gonna go through this here into what is called the isolation inlet basin. And so what the isolation inlet basin does is all that sediment and trash and stuff that's gonna be in your parking lot that unfortunately does make its way into the drain is gonna come and it's gonna be isolated into this isolation basin. And so then if the water storm gets, stronger, a lot more water, then once this water fills up a little bit, then the water comes through here, but this still keeps this sediment and the trash all in this sediment or in this isolation chamber here. And so basically, are you guys looking to do retention, like a retention system or a detention system?
Kind of what's most efficient, really.
See, so in my opinion, I think for you guys, the detention system, you don't really have a good spot out there to send that water into a creek or anything. Cause I mean, I have been out there seeing the parking lot. So I think it'd be better to do the retention system and have the water go through, just seep into the ground.
We're gonna be too deep to try to disperse into that canal down there.
Based on the way this is supposed to be, it should be good to be going through, the retention, using the retention system to soak through into the ground. Okay, and so then, basically, I guess this is, again, like I said, a smaller scale. Once we get the full, once we decide how much we're going to need, what size, I guess, if we're going to go with the 7,200, maybe the 3,500 or, just the different sizes of the chambers. But then I guess the next part is that it's kind of interesting to me is, what's it going to take to maintain the isolation chamber. So what we have is called the jetback system. And so we enter in through this right here, through the isolation basin from ground level, we enter in a jetback. That jetback comes down to the end here and then jets back all the sediment, trash, everything back into the isolation basin. And then this is kind of just a picture from above. You can see the sediment, trash in there. And then from above, that's just where we enter down and with the jetback truck and it vacuums out that and cleans it for you.
So is there any way that it's gonna notify us or anything on when it needs to be done, or is there?
So
a time?
that's one thing that I don't know the specifics on is how often this is. Now, I guess it's gonna be different too, based on the area that you live in, because if you put this system in here, we might not get as much rain as they do in the eastern part of the country or something, so I don't know the specifics on how often we would know how to clean it out here, but. I mean, like I said, I'd like to bring my engineer in who knows a little bit more of that information to meet with you guys so we can go over all the specifics.
So say we have to do the jetpack system, do we call you guys directly, or is that like a local contact or?
So we go through distributor, which I have two here in Kearney. I could either get you guys through Ferguson or through Win Nelson here in Kearney. So that's where, you know, all these products are going to be coming from with you guys. But as far as the jetback truck, that is something that like our company owns and well, not owns, but we kind of settle that because we are who supply the storm tech systems.
So it's one call if we have maintenance. keep it
Yeah,
going.
maintenance, yeah.
So is there a maximum length on this sediment area here? I mean, are we gonna have to put catch basins?
So-
Down the parking lot?
So there are ways that we can do this to where you can add like another section here and you'd have to put another inlet or another one of these basins, the inlet basins. And you could do it down here and we could do it. It makes more sense to do it on a different chamber because then you can just run the jetback down through the one chamber, clean that one chamber out, then get the next one. And then because there's I mean, this could be super long, the jetback can make it down. At least to come back and clean all that out.
So clearly that all catches like your sediment, your trash and all that stuff. What about like gas and oil and all that? That's ran off into there.
Yeah, see, so that's where we do have. We do have this filter here for you. If I can get it out. So this is our bay filter, which is going to catch where it says 8. So it's 8% of. Can't read too well outside. 80% of the total solids, 65% of phosphorus, and then it removes all dissolved metals within there. So basically, how we would run that is when it drains in, it's going to drain in through here first, and it's going to fill up from the bottom and the inlet. The inlet valves are at the bottom, then it runs through this filter. I got this other picture too, kind of show you the inside of the filter a little bit. So it runs that filter, runs up through the filter after it gets through. Some of the sediment does get caught in here. I tried to find some specifics on how often we're going to have to replace these filters, but they are, from what we offer, this is the best, I guess the best efficient filter that we offer. And so anyways, again, like I was saying, it fills up and then it would run through in here and then out through into your chambers.
So our guys gonna have to change our maintenance guys gonna have to change all the filters, or that's gonna be part of your once. And you guys clean out the.
I'm not sure on the filters, but our filters come from our distributor. So we distribute through. So I don't know as far as our maintenance coming through and changing the filters. And then, of course, I need to get you some more information on exactly how often we're gonna have to change these. But based on the whole life cycle, they require the less maintenance or the least amount of maintenance out of any other filter that we offer.
So where's this in relation to the? What you were showing? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Back on board.
yeah, here we go. So basically it would drain in. So we could have it set up to where it's going to drain in through this first. But if you separate this, then it's going to fill in. Sorry, you guys can cover this. It's going to fill in through here into that, then outlet, then come into this, and then it's going to catch the rest of whatever's left as far as trash and stuff. And so then if you do include this system with that, obviously you're not going to have to maintain this as much either, because you're getting 80%. 65%, and then all of your dissolved metals. So you're not going to have to maintain this one as much.
Probably make it the difference of filtering just for cleanouts.
So it probably will add a lot of cost.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, as far as catching and keeping your, I guess, as far as your footprint, your carbon footprint of not releasing toxic, metals and phosphorus into the soil, this would be your best bet on that.
Do you have any idea what the maintenance cost is? In other words, we're gonna tell a hotel guy they're gonna spend $10,000 every 6 months to change filters, or?
I'm not sure exactly on the cost or
how many millions of gallons they can run through, or hundreds of gallons, I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess on the specifics on this one, I couldn't find much on these, but all I know is just based on what they told me is that they're getting those percentages. And then I would, bring in, like I said, I'd like to bring in an expert with these too. So I bring in an expert on these and a guy on these, so we can get all that figured out to figure out if that is actually going to be worth your while as far as filtering out that.
Yeah, I mean, this makes pretty much sense.
Yeah,
This, I look at it and it's like, whoa, boy,
yeah,
That starts adding some cost in there that,
yeah.
I think
yeah, it might not be needed, but I just thought maybe, and another thing these can be used for too, which I know, like we said, we're not gonna do the detention system. But so if we did the detention system, so this is a fabric filter right here where that. Where it doesn't allow the sediment and the trash to get through. But if we did a detention system, instead of this coming at the beginning, this can also, so basically if a detention system would be the same thing as this, but these tubes would run out another side on this side, and then we'd have an outlet basin that manages your water output. And then your water output would go through this filter and you could filter that way. If you're filtering into a live stream, you're making.
Would that be something like we probably have to look at it in the spring? I mean, if we have a high water table in the spring, I mean. Being this close to the river that we are, we're gonna have, it might not soak away. So I mean, yeah, we're gonna definitely have to have some sort of a overflow discharge. That parking lot.
Mhm. And then that way too, you'd know for sure you're not getting any of the, chemicals or, bad materials into that water if you're inletting into the river or.
I guess circling back to the assembly, so are you guys gonna come out and install all those?
No, so we don't install this. Now, we will kind of give you installment books and, well, I guess we give them to our distributor. And then our distributor will kind of show you guys how you install them. I mean, this part, for the most part, they just connect I don't know, it's every, on each one, then they just connect together. And then, they have to be 9 inches apart on each one. But as far as that, it's gonna be something that you would have to, through the distributor that we go through to teach. Well, I mean, we kind of talked to the distributor about it, and then you guys would be going through the distributor and they'd be talking to you guys on how to install
So
it.
since we're basically learning or teaching our subs how to install that, we're gonna be responsible if something does go wrong there, how's that?
Not necessarily, no, we do, so I'm sure, I can't say as far as your distributor warranties, but we do have manufacturer warranties on these. I mean, obviously, if it's something that was avoidable, it might not be covered, but for the most part, we cover any installment problems or, just any kind of manufacturer. Like sometimes you might drop something on there on accident and you might puncture a hole through it, and that's all just that we would cover through a manufacturer warranty.
What's the lead time?
I don't have a lead time on it yet, but it just all depends on when you guys need this done.
So
And
we gotta be down at the parking lot in,
Beginning of April, done within August, starting April, beginning of April.
yeah, so I mean, is that an issue to get?
I don't see it being an issue getting these. We are out of, I can get them pretty quick through manufacturer, and then I get them, especially with how well they transport on a truck. I can get them to you guys quicker because of how many we can load on one truck and get them to you guys.
We'd have to take into account your lead time,
And
us
then-
teaching the subs, our subs assembly, and then, that's the issue.
What's the distributor bring to this picture?
Well, so I just provide them with this, and I just wanted to take this time to show you, that this could be a viable solution for you guys.
Right, but if we decide to go with that, my question is, what's the distributor bringing to the picture? I mean, he's collecting money, why don't we just buy from you?
Because I go through them and then they're gonna give you their own warranties and stuff on this. And actually, so basically for us is we're selling, to a wider area, and whereas our distributor is gonna be able to spend the more time with you to show you how to do this.
So I question when you say the distributor's gonna bring a warranty.
Well, I don't know if, I guess I'm not for sure on everything they bring to the table, but the training would be at their level.
Do they keep any of this on hand, or do they, if we can break?
Wait 3 weeks to get it from you again, just. Get it.
Yeah, say we're doing the install, and excavator runs over a whole stack of those and we're SOL, I mean, does I mean, will they keep any on hand out here to where we
Yeah.
can go down and pick them up and keep going?
Yeah, so they do keep like a smaller amount on hand. They're obviously not gonna be able to keep like your whole, what you need for the entire job
They
on
keep the
hand.
filters and all that stuff there, or?
Yes, the filters, they have some replacement filters there, and then when they start running low, then we refill through them.
All right,
Okay,
I think we got another meeting coming up, I think we got it all run too, so.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank
appreciate
you guys for giving me the opportunity to come in here.
You bet.
Yep, and you guys have a good one, all right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, have a good one,
You
guys.
too.